It's 6:30. Good morning. I'm Ian Crouch with Hunter News. Police have formed a strike force to investigate the disappearance of a Lake Macquarie man 5 months ago. 27-year-old Christopher Daunt was last seen in the North Lambton area on Sunday, March 29, and the alarm was raised when he failed to return to his Gateshead home. Sergeant Dave Rose says detectives have formed Strike Force Retractor to investigate his disappearance.
Strike Force detectives have conducted extensive inquiries and they're appealing for public assistance in an attempt to locate him. Christopher's described as being of Caucasian appearance, approximately 180 centimetres tall with a thin build, brown hair and green eyes. We urge anyone that might have seen Christopher or believes they know his whereabouts to contact police immediately.
Dungog Council may have to turn to state and federal funding to repair its Allison Court housing complex. Council is waiting on the results of a third report from insurers after 18 units were left uninhabitable and a resident was killed during the April superstorm. Council says the argument over whether the damage was caused by flooding has left a lot of people in the lurch. The Singleton Legal Aid Office is seeing more people who are struggling to pay their mortgage. A slowdown in the mining industry is being blamed for the increase, with the Hunter being one of the worst hit areas in New South Wales for mortgage defaults. Hundreds of jobs have been lost in the mining industry in recent months, with thousands more still hanging in the balance. Legal Aid's mortgage hardship solicitor, Philippa Lumley, is encouraging anyone facing hardship to contact them.
There is a service provided at Newcastle and at Singleton that specialises in mortgages in particular. And as I said, we can provide advice and minor assistance. So some people are coming to see us, but those that haven't yet thought about it, definitely make an appointment with us. It's a free 20-minute advice session, and it's a good opportunity to explore what options you have available to you.
It might be the first day of spring, but doctors have still been seeing a large number of flu cases in the Hunter recently. In 1 week last month, there were 287 confirmed cases of influenza in the Hunter, New England health area. Experts say the flu season will peak this week, with good hygiene the key to avoiding getting sick. The state government is being urged to beef up funding for council libraries in the Hunter. Labor says the current funding of $1.80 per person in the state hasn't been reviewed in 10 years, and local councils are struggling to meet the cost of providing the service. Wallsend MP Sonia Hornery is calling on the Baird government to support Labor's push to double the funding to our community libraries.
I'd love to see the Liberal government also work in a bipartisan way to take up that issue, because we're seeing libraries in New South Wales and in the Hunter close hours and times just because councils can't afford to fund them. They're an expensive but popular and very well supported resource in the community.
Briefly, Newcastle Liberal councillors have lodged a rescission motion in a bid to overturn last week's decision to move investments away from banks which support the mining industry. And economists predict more of the same for Hunter homebuyers when the Reserve Bank Board meets this afternoon to consider interest rates.
Sport for our sponsor, Warners Bay Sports Club, Fishing Expo, September 13.
The Newcastle Jets W League will head into the season without former skipper Hayley Crawford, thanks to a devastating leg injury sustained over the weekend. The 31-year-old was injured in a tackle in the opening 5 minutes of the New South Wales National Premier League Grand Final, dislocating her ankle as well as breaking her tibia and fibula. She underwent surgery yesterday and is facing 6 months on the sideline. The Newcastle Knights have one final shot to avoid the wooden spoon. The Red and Blue will have to beat the Panthers at Penrith this weekend to jump above them on the ladder. Meanwhile, the Knights have ended their pursuit of South Sydney coach Michael Maguire and are redirecting their attention back to other shortlisted candidates. And in baseball, after securing the minor premiership in the top 3 grades, Toronto will now be looking for victory in the major semi-final against Belmont this Sunday. That's sport. I'm Georgia Moylan.
2 in URFM News Time, 26 to 7.